And in the Impact segment tonight, sanctuary cities. President-elect Trump has promised to punish cities and counties that do not cooperate with federal authorities on immigration law. In the face of that, San Francisco is basically thumbing its nose at Mr. Trump.
Whose country?
Our country.
Our country. Thank you very much.
Reaffirming its reputation as the sanctuary city of all sanctuary cities, San Francisco is doubling down on its defiance of federal immigration law with a proposal to fund a universal deportation support system, legal assistance for illegal immigrants.
We are proud to be a sanctuary city, and we're not only proud to stand up for that, but we're going to invest the resources needed to make sure that the 44,000 undocumented people who live in the city and county of San Francisco have, at a minimum, legal representation if they're taken into immigration court.
President-elect Donald Trump has said he will deport convicted felons who are in the country illegally, and throughout his campaign pointed to the 2015 shooting death of Kate Steinle on a San Francisco pier by a repeat felon and multiple deportee. Critics of sanctuary city policy say making life easier for illegal immigrants leaves all Americans vulnerable.
We've seen for the past 2 administrations at least encouragement to illegal immigrants. What we need to be sending is a message around the world, a message of discouragement to reduce the flow to our border. That'll make securing the border easier.
I was a detainee.
But former detainees say they deserve the same legal rights as anyone else, and that their lack of a lawyer turned their lives upside down. Isolda Matamoros says when she was jailed after passing a bad check in 2014, her young son became suicidal and still suffers from PTSD.
It's so important to get the lawyer and get these families back together because the American citizen children of America will get affected extremely when they wake up and their parents are not there.
City leaders are now considering a proposal to spend $5 million to hire lawyers to defend illegal immigrants who are facing deportation. But eventually they will also have to consider which city programs will need to go, because President-elect Trump has also vowed to cut federal funding to sanctuary cities, and here that could total more than $1 billion a year. In San Francisco, Claudia Cowan, Fox News.
Joining us now from Austin, Texas, Karl Rove, who as a top advisor to President Bush the Younger, had to deal with sanctuary cities. So now I'm appointing you as advisor to Donald Trump. What would you tell him to do about San Francisco?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't be caught in dealing with San Francisco's stupid idea of taking $5 million of local taxpayer money and spending it by providing private legal counsel to private individuals. I mean, forget that. Don't focus on that. Let them wrestle with the idea of whose essential services they're going to cut and whose taxes they're going to raise for that. I'd keep focused on the bigger, more dangerous problem, which is a growing number of cities, sanctuary cities, that have decided that the definition of a sanctuary city includes refusing to let the federal government know when they have an illegal in their custody who's committed a felonious act. And this is what we saw with Kate Steinle. When it came time for the San Francisco County Jail to let out her killer, they should have turned him over to the federal government to be removed out of the country, and instead they refused to cooperate with the federal officials by notifying him. That's the problem, and what he ought to be focused on is what can he do in terms of passing legislation.
Right. And I don't disagree that that's the focus. You got to give me some solutions here. But there's also another thing in play. San Francisco is going out of its way to challenge Trump. This isn't an accident they did this week.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
look, they're basically saying we don't care about what you, the president, say. All right.
Yeah,
so
but
now,
don't get in a fight over something which.
All right, give me specifics. So you would tell Trump.
Go pass a law. Go seek from Congress a law that allows, with cities refuse to cooperate with federal immigration officials by turning over violent felons who have been incarcerated in their city or county or state jails.
And what's the penalty if they don't?
Big penalties. Take a slice of every dollar that you give them under federal assistance. Sanction them financially.
And all that's written into the law. You must do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. If there's a felon, a legal alien in your jurisdiction, immediately you have to tell us, the federal government, ICE. Immediately you have to tell us once that conviction is on the rolls, okay? And
yeah.
if you don't,
yeah, look, that's already on the books. But there's already on the books the requirement that they notify. There's just no penalty if they don't.
That's
and that's
right.
What
but they
happened.
don't notify.
Yeah,
they
don't notify.
Some
of them don't notify.
Most of them.
It used to be sanctuary cities were more benign, and
but now they're very aggressive. Very
aggressive. And it just is, it boggles the mind that a violent felon, somebody who has committed an act of violence against the citizens of that jurisdiction, they would not seek to keep that person away from them by turning them over to the federal officials and having them removed out of the country.
It's an open border play. That's what it is. So you would not, see, I'm torn on this. If I were advising President-elect Trump, I say, you have to make a statement here about San Francisco. You have to do something dramatic, just like the carrier thing, okay? And send a message.
Condemn it, but the stronger message is pass a law that penalizes any city that attempts to follow.
That takes a while.
Well, you know what, though? He has limited tools to do anything other than mock San Francisco, and they'll love being mocked out there. They will be sanctimonious. Well, yeah, I know, but he has limited tools. He can't, under federal law, extract a criminal penalty from them. Now, he can't extract a penalty for them doing what they're going to do. If they spend $5 million of their own money, look, the President of the United States doesn't step into any of those situations.
So the law has to be passed and then rigorously enforced. Mr. Rove, thank you.